Whoa! Look at that. We back at it. I'm recording my intro now. So I just recorded episode 75 with my homeboy. Long time no talk. Long time no see on social media. Matt Lehr. Great friend. I met him several years ago through the mobile hunting community. And we've been on hunts together out of state. Multiple hunts on multiple out of states. And it was just really nice to catch up with Matt. I hadn't talked to him in a while. And so I wasn't even really sure he was going to want to get on a podcast. But I feel blessed that he said yes. And we just recorded for a little while. And it was really great to talk to Matt and hear a little bit about what he's been up to and sort of his thoughts on the industry as a whole and kind of where some things are going. And then we had some silliness too. So I hope you all enjoy this podcast with Uncle Matt coming up next on ARO podcast. I also have a reminder for the 2026 ARO podcast Taco Grilla Meet and Greet at Fenton, Michigan at the Rail Yard on July 18th from 2 to 8 p.m. I'm going to have another little song that I created in here as an advertisement for that, and I hope you all enjoy. So we'll talk to you all later. Thanks. See ya.
But it's good. I actually do love my job, so it's good.
I think
But
you made it clear to me a little while ago. This might have been when we went to Illinois about how you felt really called to do it.
mhm.
And I think when you feel really called to do anything, there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, for this particular job, it connects me right to my son. My
Oh,
oldest, yeah, so my oldest has special needs. And what we do is we work with adults with intellectual disabilities and help them live independently in apartment style setting. That's my elevator speech as I'm out and about town. But so I mean, we're working with people that reflect my son in some ways. Nobody's the same. There's no cookie cutter. But the goals that we have for the people that I serve are honestly the same goals I have for my son. So when you have that, and I mean, what an honor to be able to go to work every day and, do something. No, I don't know if he'll ever live here. He's got plans and he's doing things. He's going to college here pretty soon. Um, but it's neat to build something that where he might, you know.
man, I don't think I realized that that's what you did. Like I feel like I had an idea as to what you did for work and for a living, and I don't think that was it. So I think that makes it even more special that you were able
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah. Prior to that, I worked in poverty care and homelessness prevention, which a lot of, because this is housing, so a lot of the stuff I did over there it's transferable over here.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, it's been a year and a half now, and actually, man, I mean, it's a lot of work, a lot of stress, but it's been great, man. It's been awesome.
So it's been a year and a half. That was my next question: is
Hmm.
how long?
Yeah, time
Does it
flies.
does it allow you more flexibility, less flexibility, same? Is it kind of just different?
Yeah, I'd say it's about the same. Essentially, I'm in charge of everything. So, I've got a team, and my team, they're doing their job. But ultimately, everything falls on me if it works or if it doesn't. So my board has said, "Hey, look, you manage your own time. We're not going to give you a limit on vacation. We're not going to do any of that." But I'll tell you what, every time I think about taking a vacation day, I'm like, I don't know if I can. But this fall, it's going to work out really good. So I'm excited for, be able to go hunting and stuff like that. And it's so funny, like years ago, I would scout in the spring. Like that is the best time to scout, and I enjoy scouting it. But I've shifted over into summertime scouting just because it's easier for me. As far as like by the time middle of the year comes, the organization is running at a pace that it should be running.
Mm.
And so I'm able to go out and scout on the weekends in the summertime and stuff like that. And it's brutal, but I like that I like the torture of it.
Is that kind of because you have like different initiatives that you implement starting the beginning of the calendar years?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
especially for, some places have like, they set their budget years at different times. Ours actually is on the calendar. So, in January, we're launching a new budget. We're, doing all the accounting from last year, and then starting to, by then you've already made plans for what we're doing the next year and you're launching those. So, yeah, just it usually like right now, like literally June is the trigger. Like I finally hit here and I today I wrapped up on the big things that I was working on that I was like, all right, I got weekends now. Like time to go to, different states and go deal with all that.
You said something to me the other day. So we are recording. Hope
Yeah,
you're okay
yeah.
with that.
Oh, totally.
Um,
Open book.
you know, when I initially asked you to record, you made a joking comment like, "I don't think it's going to get you many listens,"
Yeah, for
and
sure.
and that's I think that is definitely what a lot of podcast guys are striving for these days. But Matt, you're my friend, man, and I just wanted to chat with you, and I haven't in a while, and I wondered if you would even be willing to come on a podcast anymore. And
Yours.
oh well, thank you. So I gave it a Hail Mary. I don't give a fuck if anybody listens to this. They will, but I don't care. We're gonna have fun. We can talk deer stuff, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk about you. We're gonna talk about your body hair. Happy Pride Month, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Do you celebrate?
Oh yeah, yeah, big time. You see my new tattoo on my back.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, what does it say?
No, I'm just joking.
Okay,
Just
I thought maybe
joking.
aim here, deeper, daddy, something like that. Oh no. But along those lines, I have. So I mentioned to you that I've been like stressed recently. It's like I've been trying to think about professionally what I want to do for the rest of my life, or at least for the next little while. And so I bought a sport coat and I took professional photos and I updated my LinkedIn profile. And I've been spending a lot of time on LinkedIn. And oh my, it is nonstop pride stuff right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is like, I don't care what your business does, how well they performed. If you don't have a rainbow flag up somewhere, I don't even want to talk to you right now. Holy smokes, it is everywhere.
So I will preface this and say this because I work as a executive director with a board of 11 with very different opinions. My opinion on this subject will be pretty quiet.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have expected you to say anything.
Yeah.
Listen, the company that I work for, I would say 80% of the people that I interact with on a regular basis are of that particular persuasion. And I don't even care. I was shocked to get on LinkedIn and where you are seeking professional career choices
Oh
and
yeah.
decisions, it is the sole focus today.
So let's talk about this though, because I think we could get in on this. So I've seen you go through some phases, and I don't know if it's phases or not, just maybe your communication phases. And I think it was like last year, there was a lot of talk around like the government and essentially, I don't want to say like your perspective, but did I get a sense that it was like, hey, look, really no team is for you?
Oh
Like
my
there,
gosh, no. I don't think either one of them cares about us,
so this is where I go
truthfully.
on this subject. This is what and I truly believe this. This is how I've operated. You have all these talking points and all these areas for splitting people and all that kind of stuff. And this particular subject has been like a big one that goes out there. I would challenge anybody from any political party to get close to someone who is part of this, if it's this subject or any other subject that they put out there, and try to like get close to that individual. It's really hard to stand on your hard, political beliefs when you're face to face with someone.
Yeah.
And what happens is you find out they're just people. Some of them are assholes and some of them are great people.
Yeah.
And it challenged me because I think I had certain stances before. And then as I was, forced to come close to people, especially in the work that I used to do. I used to run a homeless shelter, and you get people from all different political beliefs and different whatever, and you start sitting down with people and hearing about their life and stuff like that. It makes it really hard to stand on a certain political platform or belief, ideology, whatever it is. And I think that I see that in you. Like that's how I see you approach things. That's why I brought it up. Is we're similar in that nature. It's like I don't care what the talking points are. And I think that's what you're saying about with LinkedIn. It's like come on, is that really how you feel, or is it, or is you just doing this to get a job?
In my opinion, most of them are doing it so that they don't get flagged as not participating.
Hmm.
You're right, though. I sort of, I have political leanings, so
So do I.
I am more fiscally conservative. And
Yep.
although I used to be more socially liberal or progressive, I don't even know that I would consider myself socially liberal or progressive today because of how far that
Yeah.
ideology has gone. But I'm more of a just do America first, do what's best for this country, and leave me alone. And stop telling me what to do and pushing everything on me. Let me
No.
have a family. Let me keep most of my money. Let me enjoy my 80 years on this planet, and then fuck off.
Isn't that
Because
the truth on 80 years too? Like,
yeah,
dude, I'm almost 50 and I'm like, I'm in the last quarter of my life. Like, what do I really give a shit about? Like, what really is important? And I got to tell you what, man, like that perspective has changed a ton for me over the last 2 years. Like, even with social media and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, what's worth my time? What do I care about? And what it really comes down to is I care about the people that care about me, like
Yeah.
that's and spending, time with them and trying to be a little bit of good where I can be and flush all the other crap right out the window, man.
Yeah.
Like I have no interest in that stuff.
Yeah, it is overwhelming, especially if you're on social media a lot, and that kind of leads me into something that I had written down for you is you've really sort of taken not even a backseat, like you're in the trunk, bro. You're like
Hmm.
you're in the pickup bed of a Ford Ranger, a gray Ford Ranger stick shift, and you just kind of knock on the window when someone hits a speed bump too fast. Like you're just like you see stuff, but you don't have the same social media presence that you once did. Why? I mean,
Oh
I
man.
think I know why, but I want you to say it if you feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think it through because it kind of changes over and over again. One, I was a self-critique. Like, I'll start with myself first. I felt like it was hard to be me. I found like it was hard to be who I really am, and I've already got enough of that on me, right? Like, we play different roles, right? We have jobs, we have, you know, things that we got to be responsible to and act a certain way. And when I was getting on there, I found the temptation. I love creating content, by the way. I love like the idea of it. I love the process of it. I like creating something really good, whether it be a podcast or like a clip that I put out, something that's inspirational or challenging, something like that. I love it. But I found it hard to really be me sometimes because I don't know. It has that influence on you sometimes. Maybe not for others, but for me, it did. Then man, everybody's a big buck killer who wants to teach somebody else how to be a big buck killer. And, I found myself doing that. Like, I found myself out in the woods being like, oh, here's a buck bed. And I do appreciate, like, there's certain people I want to hear do that, right? Like Brian Dombrowski.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear what his scouting was like,
Yeah.
like I'm intrigued by that. DJ Riley, like, I'm curious what he's doing and what, like, but I tell you what, nobody needs to hear it from me. And I don't need to hear it from about 99% of you because it's now if you want to share, if you do it in a way where you're just sharing about your day, that is something else. But if you want to present as like you're some kind of expert, you're not. You're not. Everybody's killing big bucks, so you're not, like so there's that. And then the other thing that I hated and is there's people out there doing really good things, putting a lot of good work, maintaining podcasts like you do for a long period of time, putting out good content. And then there's people who want to ride on the back of those people and use them for influence, either being a lot of times it's talking shit or like, critiquing them and stuff like that. That's when you see me pop back on. Like I've switched my role for Instagram now. I'm like the 50 Cent of the hunting. You like, if I see that, I'm gonna go in on you and call you out, and mess with you a little bit because I think that's lazy and I don't like lazy people, I don't think that's like throwing out an opinion without doing anything, you got to put in some work before you can share your opinion like that. Now you put in the work and you share an opinion that isn't mine, have at it. I don't care. Like that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the lazy guys trying to jump on somebody else's presence so you can get some likes. Like no interest in that. I just want real people, man. That's why I like you.
Yeah, Liz, thank you, man. I do. I appreciate that. And I believe you when you say that because I
Mhm.
know exactly what you're talking about. You were one of the first few people that I kind of really paid attention to on Instagram in this hunting community. And then I saw you at one of the Mobile Hunter Road shows. I believe it was at David's house in Springport.
Yeah.
Anybody know where David went? I don't know where David went.
I had some stuff locked and loaded for him. I hope he comes back because I got some stuff.
And then we became friends and we talked and we hung out. We went to Nebraska together and we went to Illinois together and so anyway, I've seen you go up and I've seen you come down. I've watched you come down and sort of take that back seat. And I know what you're talking about wholeheartedly. I do. But let me play a little devil's advocate here
Hmm.
because I know you're also kind of humble in where you make the comment like nobody needs to hear what I have to say. And I would argue on your behalf that there are probably people that may be just getting into hunting. And I know it's weird to think that there are guys who are just getting into hunting or mobile hunting or saddle hunting or travel hunting, but you've been around the block, and that's not an age joke. You've been around the block in Michigan, you've been around the block in Illinois and Indiana and all these other places. You have value to offer people. But is the real roadblock, is it the amount of negative that outweighs the positive that you could be giving people?
No, I don't know. So like when I did the dojo, that's what the premise was. It was actually started off as honestly, I remember driving down to Illinois to go scouting, and I was listening. I won't say which podcast it was because it's a fantastic podcast, and I don't want to say anything bad about it. But listening to the guy who's an incredible hunter talk about how many miles he put in and the work that he did to get the deer that he did, and at the time, man, I'm driving 6, 7, 8 times down to Illinois. I mean, the piece that I was on, I forgot how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles I scouted on it. I went nuts, and this guy's like 4 times more than me. And I remember thinking to myself, dude, I give up. Like if that's what it takes, I can't do it. I got kids, I got this, I can't do it. And that's where the dojo was birthed out of, was thinking like, wait a second, there's another rung of the ladder here that people need to reach to before they go there. And that's what I'll highlight. The dojo itself, which was I talk about the dojo because that was my online presence for a long time. That thing got away from me. It started to get really popular, and it was easier to get guests. And I work really hard at brand management, and I work really hard at keeping things the way they need to be. But that thing caught so much steam that all of a sudden I found myself getting guys who were that level of guys that I thought, okay, I can't reach that level.
Oh,
And if you look at the last podcast I did, I remember that was with Bo Martonic from East Meets West. And strangely enough, Bo was one of the motivations for me to start the podcast because he went out and started it. And I really like him a lot. He's just a genuinely like really good person.
it seems that way, yes.
So it wasn't Bo. It was the fact that someone as big as Bo was on my podcast that I realized right then that it dwarfed into something that it wasn't anymore, that it should have been. And on top of that, there were other people out there starting to do what the dojo originally was doing in the beginning, and it was no longer unique. So I thought if I didn't have a product that was unique that could benefit people, then there was no need for it anymore. And then the fact that it had morphed into something that I don't think it should have been. I think it should have stuck back to where it was. So I didn't have any negativity around that. The other part was just I'm a judgmental person. Like I just am. So I watch other people and I try to prescribe motivation, which is wrong. You should talk to people before you do that. But unfortunately, that pattern recognition actually ends up being right more than it is wrong. And I got sick of it. There was a time where I think a lot of people were just showcasing and trying to build relationships, and that was such a sweet time. It was like a magical moment on Instagram there for a couple of years, 2022, 2023. And then things started to really morph into this, everybody's a personality. And I miss the old days. I miss the old days when we went to the road shows or whatever, and everyone's sitting around in chairs and like, hey, I recognize you and I recognize you. And there was no like pride or ego. It was just like happy to see someone that, follows you. It's like, holy cow, this is sweet. I follow you too. And that's where a lot of friendships were built. And unfortunately, those things don't stay sweet for, too long. And so once it started to change, it's almost like how, we're old men and reminisce about the 90s and Gen X period. Like, I feel like it just evolved outside of who I am. And that was part of like, I don't like this. I love that. If we could get back to that, I'll be back in full swing, going to all the shows and doing things, not because I want to be recognized, but I love that time making friends.
Yeah, it's I think back to that too, and I remember thinking to myself, there's no way it's going to get crazier than this, or there's no way it's going to get better than this or bigger than this. It's like, I cannot imagine. I've said the same thing about mobile hunting equipment. I'm like, how can a saddle improve anymore? How can a stick get any lighter? It blows my tits off when these brands unveil something new and I'm like, oh my God, like the Method 3 or those new sticks that the Latitude just came out with that we saw at this deer show. Like, I guess I'm just wrong. I guess I know that my grandparents probably said the same thing about an 8-track, and then my parents said the same thing about a cassette, and then I said the same thing about a CD, and now it's like you can't even get a car with a CD player in it anymore. So I think as a human, you sort of you romanticize a certain point in time, and that is just maybe what we always look back to and long for. Do you think we've peaked as far as social media and hype and big buck obsession and everything, or you think there's still a ceiling?
Man, every time I think there's a ceiling, it just keeps going up. Like every time I think we've hit it, it just keeps getting raised. I would have said yes to that a year ago. And I don't know, when I look, and maybe it's because I am romanticizing a few years ago, there's nothing that I get excited about when I look at content anymore. Like I don't even have it on my phone anymore. Like I rarely, you know, I'll put it up if I hear there's like some kind of like dust up going on. Then I'll jump on real quick.
What? You don't
But
say.
if there's not a dust up, I usually probably not checking things out. And on that whole tip of like equipment improving and stuff like that, like I get why the industry or why they do it. This is how they make their money, and I'm all for it. And I like new stuff, but I don't even need to see new stuff anymore. Like it doesn't matter. Like, okay, if you could shed, ounces off of my sticks are so light now, like it don't even matter. And then the old version, like
Yeah.
that specific stick has like, lighter versions now, and I don't even care because my gear is so far beyond what I ever imagined that
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to keep doing better. So I don't go to that for that anymore. I don't,
Yeah.
so there's nothing that like interests me. So I start to wonder, but there's young guys coming on and if you look at YouTube, this is why I don't think we've peaked. Is if you look at YouTube, that whole influencer space is still growing. I did a bunch of research into marketing and online marketing, and YouTube is still growing at a crazy pace, dude. And it's more and more channels coming on because the younger generation, like that's just normal. That's who they are. And I think as we get younger hunters, it just continue to happen. And I think maybe for those younger ones, it's what hunting is. It's part of hunting. Where I think for us older guys, the temptation was a couple things. Knowing what was going on out there was one of the main reasons why I got on Instagram, so I could find new product. Then it was the friendships. And then for some of us, it became like this, we like making content. And then everybody wanted to have, in order to be a good hunter, I have to do this. But before that, like there's hunting, and then that was an add-on. Now I think for the younger generation, the content is hunting. Like there's no separation. So I actually think it could, now that I'm talking about it, I think it could grow probably immensely. I think it has long ways to go because the younger generation, there's no separation.
That's a great point. I have literally never thought about how we view things very differently from a technological standpoint. We had that experience of growing up pre-internet and pre-everything. Whereas, like you said, young people, when they first learned, when they were born, they had internet, they had a phone at an early age. And you're right. Hunting and content creation are synonymous at this point. Outdoor activities as a whole are synonymous with content creation.
Yeah.
And there's such a broad spectrum of opportunity for financial gain for these young people to push content. That's a really interesting thought there. I've never thought about how young people view hunting differently than we do.
Mm,
I mean, I get that young people think of hunting differently because we think of hunting differently than the elders, the guys that were at the DNR and NRC meetings this year. we are technically the whippersnappers at those meetings. So yeah, I guess I get that. Huh? I'll be damned.
And by the way, that's an old man's opinion, so I have no idea. Like,
Yeah, we'll
I'm
be.
just,
My 5 listeners will ridicule us for this.
I don't care.
I know, and I don't either. But speaking of the DNR and the NRC meeting,
Mhm.
you were very, you know, with some of us, you were very vocal about some things. And do you feel satisfied with how that all kind of went down, or do you feel like it didn't go
Mhm.
how it should have?
So I'll clarify a couple things. I don't think I have a right to have an opinion, because I really didn't do much for. So I'm loyal. So if you have something that you're passionate about or somebody else does that's close to me, I will become passionate for you and I will cheer it on. Um, and I got to be really careful here because honesty, so like when Josh started kind of his thing and communicating about the changes and pushing for it and going to the meetings, actually told him, I said, dude, you're wasting your time.
Mm.
Nothing's ever going to change in Michigan. I told right as soon as he did it. So mind you, like for listeners who don't know, I left Michigan in 2008 and have never come back. Like I shot a buck, I think last year or no, 2 years ago in Michigan. I do it like on an occasional thing. Like I don't invest anything into Michigan. So when he did it, I was like, dude, you're wasting your time. The Michigan's never going to change. The mentality here is never going to change. And what he did in 1 to 2 years was mind blowing. And I owed it to him wherever I could in every way I could, was to support him. So that's why I got vocal about it, is because I wanted to support Josh and other guys. Like what I started noticing a lot of guys going to these things. And these are all people that I either had a really close connection to through Instagram or I knew personally. And so that was a lot of it was support. Now to my answer, am I satisfied with it? I almost no, I'm not. At the end, I got pretty vocal I went to one meeting, I got up there and spoke, and I was vocal in other parts of the meeting. But um, no, there was slimy deals that were done, and I mean, I got to listen to these guys who were supposed to be representing us for the first time, and it was just completely disgusting. They have no idea what, hunting is, especially deer hunting. There were a few of them up there that I would be shocked if they deer hunted, like really hunted. They might go out 1 or 2 days a week. And these are the guys that are making the decisions for all of us in Michigan. And then they bring in the political bullshit and then start making deals behind the back. It was disgusting, especially when you had people who were really, I mean, on both sides, even the ones I didn't agree with, who were really invested on a natural level because this impacts them.
Right.
And then you have these screwballs up there because they're trying to make some kind of name for themselves and be political. It was disgusting and I hate it.
Did you go? Was it the last one that you went to? Yeah,
Mhm.
I made such a concerted effort to get to the one prior to that I had so much work backed up. I was like, I cannot take 2 Thursdays in 2 months in a row. I just couldn't. It just wasn't going to work. I wish I would have though. But yeah, I sort of got that vibe. The videos that I was seeing that the guys were posting, it really seems like there was a lot of backdoor shenanigans that took place between that April and May meeting. Now, I'm also willing to say that I am pro $1, but not so pro $1 that I wasn't willing to listen to other things, other ideas, other solutions. But unfortunately, I don't think that's how it went down. I think it went down more like typical political bureaucracy, typical slimy shit, typical just everything that you hate about government. That even
Mhm.
even you might say, oh, that's just Hollywood portrays that. That's real, man. And that I think that's really what happened.
Yeah, it was dead real. But what I so yeah, I'm not like so stuck on $1 either. Um, but yeah, I should back up too a little bit. Like the fact that change happened is huge.
That's true too.
Like it is huge. Like the fact that we do have different laws, that there is one buck, that they're, I mean, even the thing to earn a buck, at least they're trying,
Mm-hmm.
from what I understand from the people that were, I'm invested in who are pushing things, the earn a buck just doesn't, there's no like good evidence that that's going to work. But I also know what they were trying to do. They wanted more than just earn it. I should be careful not to speak too confidently, but my understanding was that they wanted one buck, but they also wanted like there were conversations about point restrictions with that one buck,
Right.
and which I would have thought made it solid. The fact that you can get a combo tag without that point restriction, I concerns me a little bit, but it's still progress. It was still things were moved in Michigan. The conversation was had, so that was a
Mm-hmm.
huge win. It'll just take longer than maybe first anticipated. But yeah, the problem with the whole thing for me was you're right. It wasn't a conversation throughout the year, even though it was set up that way. It was like, yep, this is where we're heading. We agree with it. When they're talking with the groups, this is where we think we're heading all the way into the last one. And between those two meetings, the second to last and the last, they honestly the last week they go in and do their little slimy deals and change it and then throw it on the thing at the last second. That's the part that I hated. It wasn't the fact that they came up with the rules that they did, it's how they did it,
Yeah, if you could have seen, yeah, you're right. Because if you could have been able, if you would have been able to, as a bystander, as someone sitting in the room, if you could see that that was potentially coming, you'd be like, well, man, I'm a little nervous. But that you're right. That nobody saw that coming.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah, that's what stings the most. But you're right. You're right. It is very positive that a change has occurred. It's very positive that we're all engaged in that, and that a lot of the older generation was happy to see younger hunters engaged and participating, and the men of our age participating and staying engaged, and even younger hunters that were there. Um, I think it's promising that
Mm-hmm.
there's still people in our state, in our country, that truly value this heritage of outdoors, and are willing to fight for it. Because I think
Yeah,
that's
on
what
both
matters
sides.
most. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also clarify, I do shoot a doe every year. Here because it's just fun and easy,
Yeah.
But as far as seriously hunting Michigan, I don't. So usually I'm helping the doe population by at least one doe
Yeah.
every year. But
And your kids hunt, right?
no, I've tried to get them into hunting. The problem is I'm too hardcore, and
Oh,
so which is always my problem with everything, is I go hard on everything. So like I took my I took my oldest out. And we walked 9 miles up and down the hills in Illinois the first time. We got up early, drove all the way down there, which was like a 5 hour drive. Did 9 miles up and down all day long, and then drove all the way back home the first day. That was the last time he went scouting with me. And then my youngest, I actually took him by a place close to the house, and we went through swamps in the middle of March with water up to our past our knees, and he was done doing that. He did go out hunting with me, and unfortunately, we didn't realize he needed glasses, and so he took I think 3 shots at 3 different bucks and missed them all, but it
oh,
wasn't his
bummer.
fault. He had the
Yeah.
glasses, so. But he has it now. He likes turkey hunting, so we
That's
do.
what it is. It's turkey
Yeah,
hunting.
we do that, and yeah, he loves doing that. He loves doing the running gun.
So that's
Yeah.
interesting that you say that. Because I met them recently. Your hosts for the turkey hunting.
Oh yeah.
You're like, yeah, because I had this guy right here. There, my finger.
Oh yeah.
This one was done there. So that was a Euro mount that I had done there, and great people, super great people. Thanks for putting
Yeah.
me onto them, by the way.
Phenomenal taxidermy too,
Yeah, I wish they were
and
closer.
amazing people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Well, listen, I want to talk to you about the Midwest.
Hmm.
So you and I and some other folks went to Kansas. I'm sorry, we stayed in Kansas but hunted in Nebraska.
Bad idea. Yep.
Well, why don't you touch on that first? So let me paint the picture Bob Ross style here. Gorgeous Airbnb. Matt selected the Airbnb, beautiful Airbnb just south of the Nebraska border, in Kansas. Slept comfortably, everybody. Get up every day. We all got there before season. So like we got there before the season started 2 years ago, right? Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
and we all spent a day or two scouting, and then so that Nebraska opener is September 1 every year, and we were there for it, baby, hot, so hot, and what didn't you like?
Well, one, the Airbnb that was just over the border required at least an hour drive every day to wherever you were going. And I mean, I was going through, I can't remember, I think I had the Forerunner back then, either the Forerunner or the Silverado, one of the two.
No,
And I
it
was
was
going,
not a Silverado. I think you had just gotten the Forerunner.
yeah, I was going through a tank of gas almost every day, or if it wasn't every day, it was every 2 days. Um, so that was brutal. And I had gotten there like 2 days before everybody. And I had already put on a crap ton of miles and scouted a ton. So driving what looked to be right over the border ended up being a much longer drive, and that ruined it right there. That was hard to like really get in somewhere.
I do think it was 20 minutes. I think it was a 20-minute drive to get into Nebraska.
Into Nebraska,
Yeah,
but
just
then
to get into Nebraska.
if you were hunting those pieces that were right over the border, you were driving a long ways.
Yeah.
So for that, and then for me, I was still dealing with some physical ailments that wiped me out. I got to a point where I think it was opening day. We finally got to like the opening day. And I went to, is it the opening day or the day after? I went to climb into a stand and my arms just didn't work. Like I couldn't even carry my bow. I couldn't, um, even get up the tree stand. And so that was I had to cut my trip short because of that stuff. The heat, I don't mind. I've hunted Nebraska early season a bunch of times, so I don't care that it's 100 degrees. That's fine. But the driving was unbearable, and then the bucks. But the pressure was pretty insane too, which was new for me because the piece that we went to, we had hunted the year before. We actually did really well. Chris killed like a 130 Velvet 8. I was on bucks the whole time. We had no pressure. There was nobody there. The food plots on the public was amazing. And we show up the next year, there's no food plots. All the alfalfa is gone. The pressure was through the roof. And the bucks just lived in the corn. Like they were acting like Michigan bucks. Like right at dark, you'd have to watch driving home because they were coming out of the corn to go to the fields. If you and I mean, you got on, I mean, DJ killed you got on some pretty awesome looking bucks,
But they
but
were in the corn. They were living in the corn for sure.
yeah, that whole living in the corn thing was just insane to me, for where we were,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that because I was going to get to it. Is it wasn't necessarily you weren't incredibly turned. I mean, you were incredibly turned off about the driving, and I think you had mentioned that had there not been a group of us, you may have like packed up and kind of like relocated. But specifically, I wanted to touch on so Nebraska. Previous years it was exceptional. There were well manicured public pieces, well maintained. And then when we went, it seemed like maybe they either didn't have the resources, the financial resources to do similar work. What have you looked into that at all? Like, is it a lack of funding? Is it a lack of, did they just not want us going there? Like, what do you think that's all about?
I didn't look into it because I'm done with Nebraska. Like as soon
All
as they
right.
went to a draw state,
Yeah.
I'm like, if I have to do that for Nebraska, which by the way, I absolutely love Nebraska. 2008, when I left Michigan, it was the first state I went to. The first decent buck I ever killed was from Nebraska. So, I mean, Nebraska means a lot to me, but it's not draw state worthy. I'm not putting in points to go hunt Nebraska
Hmm.
because it has gone downhill since 2008. It's had a lot of like, herd issues where they catch disease and then, the herd's wiped out, stuff like
Hmm.
that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, that was back like in 2013 and then again later on, like maybe around 17, somewhere around there. Somebody else, I'm sure will tell us when it was. I mean, I say that, but like the Latitude crew does pretty damn good go down to Nebraska
Oh
every year.
yeah, that's true.
So it could just be me, but but so it was never like draw worthy to me. So
I
as soon as they
gotcha.
did that, to me in my mind, that was my last trip. I'm like, this is my last trip to Nebraska. You talked about, I don't Airbnb when I go places. I mean, the year
Right.
before we got a hotel, but I'm always in the back of the truck or the Forerunner. And so, yeah, I would have normally, as soon as that situation would have happened, I would have pulled stakes and just drove somewhere and got close to where I wanted to hunt and stayed. Um, but it was too good to have all of us together,
Yeah.
to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of makes me wonder, we talked about like this incredible social media presence where young people sort of look at content creation and social media and hunting all as one big experience. And then the desire to go hunt bigger deer, if for example your state doesn't have that opportunity, then you're looking at Nebraska, and then it's getting hammered hard, and now it's a draw state. Do you genuinely see a correlation in your brain
Mhm.
of social media and the Midwest states?
Yeah, 100%. Yep, I do for sure. I mean, even go all the way back to when I first started on in 2008 in Nebraska. So what did that for me? It might have been MySpace. Um, I saw a
Nice.
guy, dude, this is a crazy story. So I saw a guy. No, remember, did you ever do like an Angel Fire web page? Did you ever make your own web
No,
page?
no.
So like early 2000s, me and my crew were just I had like four web pages because you could just like make them for free really quick and throw them up. And you never had the .com. It was whatever it was plus angelfire.com or whatever.
Okay.
But so we had made these hunting websites and stuff. And I ran into another one. I saw a guy, he had these two big bucks and it said Nebraska on it. And I was like, well, that's where I want to go. Like, I want to shoot bucks like that. That's where I want to go. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm at a church beast feast, and old Johnny Eberhardt's coming to talk. And I'm a saddle hunter back then.
The
And
Great White
so
Saddle Hunter, I believe.
it used to be that name, yeah. And so I go to see him. I look over at this guy there who put it on. He works for the church. And I'm like, that's that dude from the picture with the two big
Come
bucks. And I'm like,
on.
it's him. I had no idea where these guys were from. In fact, you know who else was in there? Skip. You know Skip from
Yeah.
it was him. So it was Ross Graveling and Skip and these guys who were from Zeeland, Holland, who started traveling, going to Iowa, Illinois, and just murdering huge deer. And now, Skip's grown, these amazing land with these awesome deer on it. But anyways, I ended up working there. So I ended up getting a job at that church, working with that guy, Ross. And he's the one who got me to go to Nebraska for the first time. So yeah, social media, even back then, influenced me. I believe so. That's happening now. Last year, Illinois, for the first time, sold out on all their tags. So for you that don't realize, Illinois is a draw state, but no one's had to draw for it because not enough people put in for it. So you go and buy the tag over the counter after they have their extras, and they always have extras and they never sell out of them. Last year they did, and I was in Illinois last year and it was bonkers. I mean, it's got me to the point where I don't know if I'm going back to Illinois this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So I
bonkers.
have always done the lottery for Illinois.
I
Now
never have.
I didn't realize that they had a quota. I just always wanted to. I had money at this time of year, and I wanted to put in for my tags so that I didn't have to wonder if I was going to have enough money for those tags come fall. So I always have done that, and I've always been able to get in the mail my buck and my doe tag for Illinois. And I think that just kind of goes to show be prepared for when these draws. Use Hunt Reminder. Like I use Hunt
Mhm.
Reminder. I go in there. I set up all the states I want to hunt in. I check the box for and then they literally will text me when it
Yeah.
opens. They'll text me a reminder when there's a week left. They will text me the last day as a reminder. Even if it's for a preference point. If you guys are not using Hunt Reminder, I highly encourage. And you can, if you have an Onyx Elite membership, you can get it through there too. Otherwise, I don't know if it costs anything. But yeah, I've always put in for that draw.
Yeah, I'd never have. I mean, yeah, I bought the tag as soon as I pulled into my spot and go to Walmart, get it, and go hunt the next day.
My biggest beef about Illinois is the fucking um, paperwork that you got to have for every place you hunt. You know how you
Yeah.
got to. I don't. That makes me so mad. That should
You
be
know what I did?
digital.
I bought a portable printer
That's amazing.
because I got down there one time and forgot my printed little tag and had a dry and you're in, nowhere Illinois and try to find someone that can print you off. I had to go to a professional printer and it cost me like $10 for them to print one tag out. And I was like, never again. So I got
Yeah.
a portable printer that it's like those receipt paper.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to even pull them up until I get there. And then I'm like, yep, print it out, throw it in my window, and I'm good.
Because the
Hundred
worst
hundred
part
bucks.
is that if you have to like log in later on at the end of the season and check in, like quote unquote check in, and if you don't get permission to hunt there the next year.
Yeah. I missed that and I had to call and beg for them to enter my info. And surprisingly, I've heard horror stories about Illinois DNR. They were super kind and did it for me. I
Yeah.
should say that. They're gonna be like, oh, don't admit that.
I don't know, man. I just feel like in 2026 there's a better way, and it ain't a piece of paper, and it's your phone and their app, and like let's get with it, folks.
Yep. Check in, check out right there on your phone. And it's just so ridiculous to do it that way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's almost like a gotcha. It's like they set it up as a gotcha, and
Yeah, but then
I
it
don't like
just
that.
with no like monetary
There's
gain for them
there's
though. It's
no
just a
benefit.
penalty.
Yes.
You can't hunt there again.
Well, back to the Midwest. Where do you see this going? Do you again? I'm very curious on people's perception on like the peaks, and then when we kind of get out of this, like in your opinion, are we ever going to go back to a couple year draw in Iowa? Are we ever gonna get grossly 5-6 years to draw Kansas, or do you think it's still going to be every other year? Like, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, I think it's just going to get worse.
Oh fuck.
There's too much money involved, right? So, and I'm not blaming the manufacturers, right? But our hunting industry makes so much money, and they're so good at marketing, social media marketing, and um, that it's like the cool thing to do, And so it's never going to like that whole emphasis on shooting big bucks and traveling and being a mobile hunter, that's not going to go down because it has to keep going up so that the companies can make money. And if you look at us, we all, again, I don't want anybody to hear this the wrong way. I like that they make money. They should. I think it's bullshit that we create our identity around it. So here I am. I even got like I got this on because it was free. I love this store. Like this is where they work on my bow. I will proudly and they're great people. I know them personally.
I can't read it. What
But
does it say?
oh, long range archery.
Oh,
It's a
I know
bow.
who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're
Okay.
they're the best in the state. But the fact that we hashtag all these products when we use them, it's like, listen, I get it. If you have a partnership with them, do what you got to do. But if you're Joe Blow, all you're doing is giving free advertisement to a company that's making a shit ton of money. And guess what? Nobody gives a shit that you use Lone Wolf. Nobody, everybody's doing that. So stop trying to be cool. But because of that cycle, it just
Yeah.
puts the attention on on hunting so much that no, I don't see it going down. I
Yeah.
mean, it's interesting though to see what the states are going to do. I just saw, and I don't know if this is true because anything you see on the Facebook anymore or whatever, it looks like Missouri's tight. Like there was this talk. I don't know if this is true. Or somebody can verify it for us. That not this year, but next year, you'll have to pay an extra $150 to hunt public land in Missouri.
I did
Um,
see something about that.
and they're limiting the number of out-of-staters, and the taxes are
Oklahoma
going
does
up.
that.
Oklahoma went nuts, dude.
Dude,
$750 to hunt Oklahoma.
yeah, and they're part of that is that hunting public land tag. So it's like you
Mm.
have to pay that fee to hunt public land in Oklahoma, not on top of a super expensive tag. Because I thought about it. I know someone who loves to go hunting in Oklahoma. He's like, dude, it's just like Kansas and Nebraska. And I was like, okay, maybe some places probably are.
Mhm.
And then I looked it up. And I'm like, nope, that's gonna have to be another time, like
Yeah,
700 or $800
yeah, I'll never
for
do
a
that. I
non-resident.
mean, there's other places I can hunt. I'd rather pay 550 and hunt Illinois. where you have a chance at a booner,
Yeah.
like. But I see that. So then, like they also put down instead of used to be able to do $2 archery and gun there. It looks from what I read. Again, I don't know if this is true yet. It looks like $1 for out of staters. So
Interesting.
it'll be interesting to see what the states do. I'd be shocked if they actually keep limiting it because I think they want to make money, right? So the more people that can hunt, the more money they make. But what I think is going to happen then is that the experience will start to go down. And then when that happens, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many people keep flooding out of state once it gets harder and harder and harder.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is if the experience degrades, let's call this out in generations. Okay, so like if the experience in Nebraska degrades to the extent that you and I no longer go, does that immediately get backfilled by two guys that weren't able to go the year before, and the cycle continues? Because we technically will move on. You and I have moved on. This isn't a fantasy world, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's real. We move on, and we're hunting somewhere else now. Are we then forgotten about, and our spots are backfilled by two younger hunters?
I think so right now, until the experience just gets bad for everybody, but that's going to take a long time. And especially, look, especially if you're coming from a southern state that doesn't have crap for deer, or you're coming from Michigan, you're going to go there and you're going to see 110-inch. You're going to think it's a 140.
Yeah,
And you are going to like think it's the greatest thing you ever saw in your life until you've killed a few of them, and then it starts to not be as appealing. So for that group, which I think is like endless right now, there's so many people. It's amazing how many people are new to mobile hunting
yeah,
or the idea of traveling.
yeah.
It's still a new concept, I think. And I think until they get caught, I don't know. We're talking probably 10 more years, I would
Sure.
imagine,
And
before the experience starts to go down.
yeah, and listen, I want to be clear that I sincerely hope, because this is how I genuinely feel, that people travel to a Nebraska and a Kansas and they sleep in the back of their truck, and then when they get up at 2 a.m. to piss, they look up at the sky and they see the Milky Way, and they see things that they've never seen before because there is zero light pollution, and you experience true silence, like, because there's nothing. You're sleeping in a field in the middle of nowhere, and it's absolutely beautiful the way that the world truly is, and when you're not tarnished by light pollution from a city or this background noise pollution that everybody has literally everywhere. I encourage you to go do that. Eat at a diner. I know you like to travel and eat at these mom and pop places, or even Applebee's. I know. I hope that that's what people seek out too, because that's part of it. The deer hunting is a supplement to all of that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree 100%. Like, if the experience just keeps going to shit, I will continue to do what I'm doing
yeah,
because of all the things you just mentioned. Those are actually like my favorite things. Like, hunting just helps me stay there longer,
yeah,
in between. I mean, I'm probably oversimplifying that, obviously. I'll tell you what, though, I don't give a shit about big bucks anymore. Like, I mean, I'm going to shoot a big buck when I shoot one, but that I don't care. So if I go and I don't shoot one, I don't care. Like, it's the experience that I'm more about now than I am actually trying to shoot one. And so I think a lot of guys go because that's their main thing. Like, I want to shoot a big buck. And then there's like, you start to like mature in your reasonings for doing things like this. Adventure, hard work, meeting new people, seeing different sides of the United States, and yeah, all of those things to me are take precedence over having to shoot a big buck.
100%, man. Absolutely. Yeah, I hope and this is not a shot at you. I hope you're dead wrong about how hard it's going to get to Iowa. I'm at I think I bought my 4th point this year. So realistically, I could potentially draw next year. I just love Kansas so much that I didn't go this year, and I kind of would like to go next year. And so I don't know that I could do Kansas and Iowa. My wife would leave me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's okay with it. I love Illinois. I will probably continue to go to Illinois as much as possible. I have that little lease down there, and there's great deer on it every year, and there's public nearby. I love where we hunt in Michigan, and I would love to hunt more public, but I love to travel so much that I just can't see it ever stopping. And it won't always be those states. Like, I'll go to Ohio too. I get my ass kicked in Ohio last year, but I still loved it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope I am too. Yeah. I got 5 points for Iowa. But if you want to go to like, what is it, zone 5 and 6 or whatever, you're
Yeah.
looking at 6, 7 points before you can get in there. And that creep, I remember when I
Yep.
first started pulling numbers, it was 4. You could get in those areas at 4, and I'm at 5, and I might get it. I doubt it. But I don't think you need to hunt those areas. I mean, anywhere.
That's a great point. That's a great
You
point
know?
because someone else was just talking about that. Somebody was talking about that with Aaron Blasey the other day. And I was like, hey, man, I want to talk to you about that. Because I think when I started buying points, it was you could hunt the elite locations with 4 or 5.
Yep.
And it was 5 or 6. Now it's 6 or 7. And that's depressing because you and I could be in the last quarter of our lives. And how many more trips to Iowa do we got in us? Unless we
Exactly.
buy a farm or something.
Yep. And then I drew Kansas this year.
You did?
And yeah, I did. Yeah. So I'm going with Chris, and
Oh, that's
we're
right.
we're going to like the shittiest spot in Kansas. Like, one of the units has 2 pieces of public on it. So we did it with the mindset of like, whatever, we're just going to do whatever it takes to find the bucks that we want to shoot and kill anyways. But we did it I would rather be in Kansas away from people and not shoot a big buck than to have to deal with the circus and get a chance at a big buck. So, I mean, if I want to do that, I'll go to Illinois, you
Yeah.
know. But so I want to go for the experience. I want to go way out in Kansas where there's no lights and there's, one diner and 100 miles and all that kind of stuff. I'm more interested in that. We're going to stay until we get it done too. So we could be there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. So
I'm excited to hear how that goes because you shared that with me. I think at the time you hadn't drawn yet. Maybe you guys put in. So that's exciting, man. I looked at it and I didn't have any feedback because I'd never been there. But I'm really excited to hear how it goes. I'm really curious to see if you guys have any luck door knocking in an area where there's not a lot of public. Or WEHA. I'm curious to see if landowners are more willing to negotiate there on access. I'm very excited for you guys. I look forward to hearing how it goes.
if I get to it, I'm going to send letters before we go
Nice.
and see what happens. I do plan on going there like July,
Mm,
um, and just try to, get some eyes on some velvet. And I doubt I'll go out and do much scouting. It's going to be miserable,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I want to go at least just drive around, get familiar with the roads, get familiar with the landscape, and look for some deer and see what it looks like. Maybe I'll talk to some people then.
Hell yeah. That's so cool. I want you to share. Make sure you share it with me how that goes.
Oh yeah, of course.
What time you got to be out of here?
Oh, I'm good till like 6:30.
Okay, you said something the other day. I just want to make sure I'm conscious of your time. I had Brian Dombrowski on the other day. Fucking that guy.
Love that
That
dude.
guy's a dream come true, man.
He is.
He could read me. He could read me a bedtime story. That Wisconsin accent, man. I don't know. There's something. I said the same thing to Tony Van Asten. I was like, dude, you guys with that Wisconsin accent, and then there's like Joe Miles' South Carolina accent. You could fucking tell me anything and I'll believe you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, great guy. I know you guys are tight. And I meant to get into this more with him, and we kind of just glanced at it. I have seen you and Brian discuss like taxidermy and how irrelevant taxidermy is, and in reality, it's going to be somebody else's problem someday, and I look at it differently, and that's okay. I want to get your take on taxidermy and buck mounts and all the stuff. Like, where the hell are yours?
Yeah.
Why are they not in the background?
Oh, this is my office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I had a recent life change. So uh, I'm separated now. So I got my
Oh,
own
I'm sorry. I did
place.
not know that.
Oh, don't be sorry. It's okay. And we're good friends, and
Okay.
things are working out. So it wasn't like a horrific thing. Like it's stuff it's funny people say that, but we're fine.
Okay.
So I've got my own place now, and one of my complaints to her, and if she hears this, she'll laugh, is like all my bucks were downstairs in my man cave, and I was like, these things should be out like up top where everybody can see them, and da da da. So last night I moved into my new home, and I put up my bucks in the living room, and I'm just standing there, and I sat down and I looked at them. I'm like, man, this looks tacky as hell in your living room. Like they're just all the way across. And it looks cool too if you're a dude and you just want to be a
Yeah.
dude. There's that side of me that's like, yeah. And there's
Yeah.
another side of me that's like, oh man, it's gonna be hard to have dinner parties over here. Not that I ever do, but then I started thinking about it, and I was looking at the bucks that I mounted, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna have to be giant for me to mount another buck. I'll tell you that. And I don't please let me preference to tell you, I am not mount rich. Like I don't have a plethora of mounts, but probably more than, some people, probably the same as anybody who's on our level, right? Like, but but it will take a lot bigger for me. And I talked to my kids about this since Brian said that. Brian screwed me up, dude. He messed me up when he said that. We were just hiking one day. We were scouting. And I say hiking because that dude's a freaking beast.
He
And
told
if
me.
you think you got skills, like go with that dude, he will wear your ass out. And I was in good shape when I was scouting with him, and he wore me out. That dude is a machine. But anyways, he just nonchalantly goes, "You ever think what they're gonna do with our mounts when we die?" And it fucked me up for 2 years, dude. I'm still trying to recover from it because I was like, "Yeah, those things are so special to me. It means so much growth in my personal life and everything." And I asked my kids about it. I'm like, they're like, well, there's one that will take the rest. Yeah, they don't care about. And I'm like, damn, that hurts.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna ask my kids that. So when you say mount, do you mean shoulder mount, or will you do any
Hmm.
type of mount? Will you do a euro
Well,
for anything?
yeah, I got
Okay,
euros. I'm talking shoulder mounts.
full shoulder mount.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
help that they're damn near $1,000 these days.
That's insane. I know.
Golly,
Yeah, my last one was 1100.
baby. Yeah, so I currently am like, I don't give a fuck. I'm dead. That's their fucking problem. I'm doing this. I do all of them for me. But I'm not saying I don't see your point, but I definitely am like, I don't fucking care. I hope they send me off onto a flaming piece of wood out in the lake and light me on fire. I don't care what they do with my mounts. That's the least of my worries. I'm just going to be sad that I missed seeing my family anymore. And I'm sure that they'll be sad that they miss me. And then I hope that one day they just get a giant dumpster and throw all those things in there or sell them to a fucking bar. Like, I don't give a shit. Go donate them to somebody. Not my
That's what I
problem.
asked. I said, look, you got to donate them somewhere, like don't
Yeah.
just throw them in. Well, I think the thing is when you think about, as a man, you think about you build things in your life, you leave a legacy, right?
Yeah.
And if I was just some average, guy who was like, I go out and do, I sit for 4 days during gun season, and every, 8 years I shoot a big buck. I don't care what you do with that. But the fact that I've poured time in, I've been away from my family, which has always been like a tension point, to do it like we do it, you're sacrificing time with your kids.
It's true.
Like even on our level. And I mean, you're talking, we're not even, you're elite, but I'm not elite. These guys who are elite are like pouring in their whole life into it. And I feel like I poured so much of my life into it that to think of something that I poured that much time into just being tossed in the garbage. But here's the truth. Everything is going to be tossed in the garbage. Like everything rusts, everything falls apart. Like whatever house you were in, like there's going to be new people there making new memories, and they're not going to know you, or they're going to tear your house down and build a new one. None of it lasts. None of it. And what is it like 1.5 generations? Nobody even knows your name. So I guess
100%.
in the end, I guess, yeah, it probably shouldn't mess me up because everything's going to be gone, you know?
I have to, if you were to, I just had to think about this while you were talking. 5 minutes ago, if you would have said, "What is your mom's dad's name?" I would have been like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
my mom's dad's name?" It took me a second, but her mother was Edna. Can't no, not my mother's, not my mom's dad. My mom's grandpa. My
Yeah.
grandma and grandpa just passed away like 2 years ago. I definitely remember Bill and Dorothy.
I'm not laughing they passed away. I'm laughing that like
Yeah,
you
I
wouldn't
said it
remember their
wrong.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Edna and David, I had to think of her grandparents' names because I barely knew Edna and I can't even hardly remember David, but I had to think about it. So that's what? That's 2.5 generations, basically. And I could barely remember his name. And I'm
Yeah,
not that
I
fucking
can't. I
old.
don't know I don't know my great grandparents' names on either side of the family. I
That's
don't know who
crazy.
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it all falls apart. So I did get deep into like philosophy, over the last couple of years, and that one for sure is like, in the end, like all the stuff. It goes back to our original conversation in the beginning about like people taking stances on political sides and all that. In the end, none of it really matters.
I believe Lincoln Park said, in the end, it doesn't even matter.
It's the truth. And so enjoy the life that you have now, and I guess try to be good to people because you do feel better about it when you do, and just move on. Like, don't
Yeah.
worry about everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like that we were able to dig in a little bit more because Brian sent me a picture of all his mounts in his house, and I was like, "Holy shit!
Dude,
Holy shit,
people
man!"
don't know who they're dealing with or who they're listening to when Brian Dombrowski speaks.
That's a fact. That is a
This
fact.
this guy is on another level, and if you think you know what that level is, you don't know.
Yeah,
And talk about humble. One of the most
indeed.
kind, most humble, most like he really is an incredible human being.
I did like him. He blew me away when he was like, "Well, sometimes my wife and kids will go to sleep, and I'll get in the car and I'll go scouting at 10 o'clock at night till early in the morning." I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?" Like
that's
I've heard
like
of middle of the night scouting, but he's like, if I can't sleep, I just get up, I just wake up out of bed and I'll just go scouting in the middle of the night. My
with
wife would
wolves.
fucking yeah, my wife would kill me, and there's nothing here.
Yeah,
A porcupine, maybe.
the dude's out there with wolves, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just showed. Didn't he just have a video the other day of a wolf?
I don't know. I'm not on Instagram anymore. Well,
Oh
I
yeah,
am,
that's
but
right.
I haven't looked at it in a long time.
I think he did. I think he said they just killed wolves. Just killed a donkey near him, and one of his videos while he was out scouting had one running away from him. Yeah.
No thanks. I'm
No
good.
thanks indeed. I am curious about that area though.
Where
I'm
he's
really
at?
curious about Wisconsin.
I shouldn't even say. I don't want to
You
blow
don't
up
have
his
to.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. This I'm curious too.
Yeah. He's a good
Yeah.
dude though. I learned a lot. I learned that he was very similar to me when I was growing up. Like he was into
Yeah.
the low riders and big speakers in his truck and all that shit. I'm like, oh my God, I would have never guessed.
He can quote Tupac.
He didn't do that, but I wish he would have.
Oh, he can. Yeah. Yeah.
If I were to put you on the spot right now, could you quote Tupac?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah."
I
Challenge me
can.
with something harder.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the easy one. Yeah. So
So
my kid's into Bone Thugs and Harmony.
how'd that come up? Oh no. Oh, there you are.
There we are. Are you familiar with Bone Thugs?
Indeed, I am. But how did that
Yeah.
come to your children?
Probably through me.
Oh,
I think he might have heard it when he was younger, so he's into it now. And like he's like, "Hey, will you put on, Bone Thugs?" I'm like, "Sure." So I put it on, and like I was just flowing to like every word, and he just looked at me like, "How? Like
that's
how?
so funny.
And then I probably ruined it for him because like here's this guy who's almost 50, like listening, like Bone Thugs is not that cool anymore.
Yeah. I know my son, who is now 12 and a half, used to love all the same music as me. He'd be like, "Oh, my dad listens to heavy metal. I like heavy metal." And now he's like, "Oh, I don't turn this off, man." It's because it's now he's got hockey kids that like cooler stuff, and he's got the broccoli top hair. I'm like, dude, what in the hell? Get out of
Yeah.
here with that. Get out of here with that nonsense. Oh my God, what was I just going to ask you? Oh, it's okay. Never mind. So this is I want to get your honest opinion on this. So I know for a fact that you use AI to create amazing
Hmm.
images and share them with
Hmm.
me.
I'm
I
evil with
too, I
it.
too use AI to create images when needed, um, but I've recently started using them for music. So there's another podcast. There's a podcast that I started listening to that got me into podcasting. I've said it 100 times. It's called A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, and they use this program to create all these like nonsense songs. And so I started it. I did one for the meet and greet that I'm going to have this year.
Yes.
So I did one hip hop song, and I just did another one that I'm going to put out in this episode when it airs. But I want your honest opinion. Am I going to hell because I hate AI and data centers, and I'm using it like a little slut, my
No,
AI slut?
no, I think it's all right. I think it's yeah, I don't know. I think I'm like that too. I mean, if it's out there, I mean, you not using it isn't going to take a data set away. Like it's here to stay. You can fight the power if you want and feel like you're doing something, but it's here to stay. So might as well go ahead and drink the Kool-Aid.
Because there are real creatives out there who are screaming at me right now. Yes, you're putting me out of work. Send me your image request and send me your music request, and I'll create it for you. But like, I don't have the fucking time for that. Nor do
Mm-mm.
I want to pay you to do it. That is the truth behind it right there. I don't want to pay for a silly image or a silly song.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. And yeah, dude, we could have done a whole podcast on AI because I use it a lot. I use it at work. I've created custom GPTs and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's rushing us to the end of our time. And it's people doing it for greed and all those type of things. And I don't mean like just in the sense of like, oh, it's going to take over all of our jobs. I think there's some if you dig into AI and get on like an elite level, there's very rich people who pay a lot of money to be part of, and this is not conspiracy, this is true, part of like this insider communication around AI. Those people, if you listen to them, they're really concerned about where it's going to go. So you might as well just have fun with it until it decides to get rid of us.
Till it
So
puts one in the back of my head one night while I'm sleeping.
yeah, that's right.
I
Maybe go
hopefully
back and
I
watch The Matrix. That'll change.
you know
It makes all different type of sense now.
I've never seen The Matrix.
What?
I know.
You
There was a
freak?
period of my life where I just never watched movies.
Go back, watch it. Well, it's funny. It's funny because it's supposed to be like hundreds of years in the future, and their their technology is like really old dial-up, but but it's really cool, especially with
Interesting.
AI. Yeah.
I think there's probably at least a 10-year stretch, potentially 15 years where I didn't keep up on movies, and if I did watch a movie, it was super dumb humor.
Mm.
There's a movie that I just started talking about recently called, do you remember Boondock Saints? You ever watch
Oh, dude,
Boondock Saints?
love it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I want to watch that movie again, but someone was talking about how we need real life brothers like that to kind of clean up a little bit right now, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
And then it struck me, oh my God, there's a movie about this. I should watch that again. But it was in that era where I just didn't keep up with stuff. So I've never seen Titanic. I've never seen The Matrix.
Oh,
And
see
there's
Titanic.
there's probably a lot of other ones too. I'm not thinking of right now, but I'll have to check that out. But did you use an actual company to make the dojo stuff, or did you use AI?
Yeah, no, I paid a guy to do that. So I found the samurai and then sent that to a guy who does branding. He's amazing. He's a awesome human being, and so he customized it to make it ours. And then he went in. Went in and did a full like branding package.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an investment. And he
Yeah.
gave me an incredible deal because he believed in the dojo.
Okay.
And but and I do think you get better. I love what he does over what I could create with AI any day. Yeah, I mean, he went into like what kind of font I would use. Like I had three different fonts that I would use, and this is how I would use them. And here was the color palette, and here's like all of this stuff. That's one thing I was super proud of, even though I didn't create it, was the branding of the dojo. And yeah, so if you're gonna get a really good quality product, it's from someone like that.
Yeah.
But for really for a lot of things,
You make a great point, because when you do create something on AI, there are things that are quote unquote wrong with the image.
mhm.
Like there are just, it misses certain things. But when you pay a branding company to do something like that, there is a level of quality that you do pay for it. Now I have inquired with somebody. This was a long time ago when I was doing my other podcast about rebranding and marketing, and if I remember correctly, it was $6,000
Yeah, it would
for
be.
that company.
Mhm.
Um,
That's not
I
what I paid because the
yeah
guy, like I said, believed in me, but that's his level. I mean,
yeah
he was working for like Nike, I think, and
damn.
Oakley and doing branding for those type of companies. So, yeah, it would be a lot of money to do it.
What do you think we're missing these days? Like what are we missing as a community, as a human race, as a hunting group? Like what are we missing?
Authenticity. We're missing it so much. Like just, yeah, just being real about who you are and what you're doing and realizing that I don't know. It's just so hard because it's a double-edged sword. Instagram is so wonderful to meet the people that I've met, and that continues to be true. But nobody should give a shit about me. Nobody should know me. Nobody, nobody should even care what I'm doing. It's better that way. It's better when our circles are smaller and the people who know us, and we can be authentic in those relationships. We've just gotten so big, it's hard to be on. It's hard to be who you really are.
Yeah.
And what it does, it starts to shape your mind. So this is a proven fact. I mean, like happiness has gone down since the creation of the iPhone. You can do study, you can go back and look at meta studies and they'll show this. We are just not the same people anymore because of that device in our hand. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
If
that
anybody thinks that's bullshit, I encourage you to read The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt.
mhm.
I don't know if it's Haidt or Height. I believe that's the author, but it is called The Anxious Generation. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So I don't know how, like now, I mean, going back and now I'm hunting. Like I said, I give a crap if I kill a big buck or whatever. Like, I'm not pulling out my phone anymore. Even though I love making content, I'm not doing it in that space anymore. I'm not taking pictures of rubs and shit like that unless I'm like gonna send it to one of my boys, like I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like that tight group type of thing. I was going through my phone this morning trying to erase, and it's like all these photos that I took probably to put on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, who gives a shit? Only my boys care about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
You know what stresses me out right now? And I hope people hear this and I hope they take it to heart and I hope they don't hold it against me ever. The more people I meet and share my phone number with, the harder it is for me to keep in contact with everybody.
Yeah.
And I miss things. I see a text message while I'm doing something and I don't get back to it. Or I miss a
Hmm.
call because I'm at a meeting and I don't get back to it. And it isn't that I don't genuinely care about that person or our friendship. It's that it's that everybody's busy thing, and it's like it's not personal. It's just I have a hard time keeping up with everybody, and I don't. It's not that I don't want my circle to get smaller. I want our community to be the right size, and I don't know what size that is, but I want it to be the right size, and I want it to stay that size, and I want it to be, I want it to, I want it to culture I want the culture to become authentic. I want to encourage that. I want to foster is the fucking word I was looking for. I want to foster a culture of authenticity in the perfect size group of humans. And I don't know what that size is right now. Like I mentioned, the meet and greet this year, there was like a half a dozen or maybe 9 guys that showed up last year. I expect more guys will show up this year. I don't ever want it to be 500 guys because I will spend the whole day stressed that I missed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I want people who are engaged. I want people who want to interact with fellow like-minded humans, good people. I want to just hang out, man. Have some tacos. I'll feed you a taco. You feed me a taco. Whatever happens is okay. But you're right. Authenticity matters, and whatever that means to anybody. I don't know where I was going with it, other than to say I'm stressed right now because I feel like I can't keep up with everybody, and I don't want anybody to take that personally.
No, yeah, I get that completely. It happens to me all the time. I tend to, and that's where like my circle started to grow during like the dojo era, and then now it's like shrinking back down to where I think I can manage it. That's even why I brought up me being separated, um, is because, and I have felt this pressure when I had the dojo was like, oh, I got to make sure I present a certain way and I say things a certain way, and I'm not gonna take on that subject. Not because I play those games, but I don't know, it just kind of messed with my mind a little bit. Um, what I learned is we all go through stuff. That's why I love that you were talking about being stressed. I don't love that you're stressed, but I love that you brought it up because it's the truth. It's what's happening with people. Justin Simon today just put out I think it was today. I saw it today. This reel about stress and mental health, and he was vulnerable. I would love to see I would get back onto content creating if that started happening, if we were more vulnerable, and we don't have to air we don't want to hear everybody's freaking problems,
Yeah.
but just being honest about who we
Sure.
are, where we're at, and what we're doing,
Yeah.
that I would love to see us grab a hold of this beast of technology and start to use it in a way that actually brings us to be more human, even though
Right.
it's going to be here. Like, how do we morph with it and be more vulnerable and more authentic?
Even though I just used it to create an emo rock and roll song for my meet and greet.
But you know how authentic that is, dude, because it's coming from you. Like that's
And
why
it's so good.
that's why everybody loves your podcast is because you are authentic, like
Well,
you
thank you.
just it's the truth. No, that's not like a throwaway compliment. Like that's a real
I
thing.
believe you. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
throwaway at all. I do appreciate you've told me that
Yeah.
before, and I sincerely appreciate it. And I you can't see it, but I have a goals. So it says 2026 hunting goals, but it's just like my philosophy, my goals for this year as it relates to hunting, but it's also got some podcast stuff on there. And the last thing on there it says to maintain brand identity. And
Mhm.
brand identity is whatever the fuck I want. Because
Mhm.
if people don't like it, that's fine. I don't care. I liked it. When I did it, I liked it. It may rub people the wrong way. It may not land, but I enjoyed it. And that is my brand identity. And I plan to stick with that for wherever that takes me. But it has taken me to some cool places where I've got to hunt with great people and meet some awesome friends and do some awesome things and chat with you on a fucking Thursday afternoon.
I am.
And I love it. I got one last thing for you, and it's silly. Okay.
Yeah,
This is back to Pride Month. I was thinking about you when I was laying in bed last night. Okay.
I like that.
And I thought I got to write this down. And so I did. And it starts with a question. Are you a hairy guy?
Hmm.
I thought so. You have a really nice beard. Okay. So this is a would you rather. Would you rather lose all of your chest hair? So smooth chest. You can have your beard, but totally smooth chest. But as soon as you went past your pecs, you were hairy again. or lose totally smooth belly all the way up to your underboob and then have just a full hairy chest.
Yeah, full hairy chest is what I want. I'd rather
Yeah.
have that than the other. That would be insane.
Could you imagine having to explain that?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever shaved your body? Are you hairy? I don't know if you are or not.
Yeah, I am, but you can't tell. I am hairy, but you can't really tell. It's
Okay.
like it's wispy right now. What were you going to ask me?
Do you ever shave your body hair?
I used to trim my chest hair because I was sort of self-conscious about it in my early 20s. I would trim it to where it was real short. And so it was like almost stubbly. And I also thought it made my muscles look bigger. But I do not anymore. And my wife loves my hairy chest.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have been known to shave before. Like back when I was like really getting fit and I was
Yeah.
like getting ripped, then for sure I did. Because I was like, I want everybody to see the lines,
Yeah. Yes.
which
See,
everybody was nobody. It was my wife, only my wife, and she doesn't care. She didn't care at the time.
but I like
So
to imagine you like at the local Anytime Fitness or Planet Fitness where you take your shirt off to get ready to go work out for the day and someone walks in and you have no chest hair, but you have a super hairy belly. And then having to explain that to that guy.
I just sit there and rub it. You ever the guys in the gym? You ever go to those lockers? Like they do the crazy stuff in the locker room, man. It's like I don't need you like one leg up and drying everything off with nothing on. But like just sit there and rub that hairy belly and just hang out in the locker room for a little while.
Never break eye contact.
Never. As soon as somebody walks in. That'd be great.
Matt, thank you for doing this with me, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's good talking with you. I felt like it was just two friends talking, so that's what made it great.
Yeah, and it's all things that I hadn't even talked to you about in a while. Some things we've talked about, but not everything. And I think it's again, I'm gonna say this because I don't know if you believe it or not. Our community of social media people enjoy you and enjoy your presence. And if you ever thought about coming back, you would be well received, in my opinion. There might be some people who you've rubbed wrong that may not care for you.
There's a few out there.
There's a few.
Sometimes I feel bad about that too, but
and then you move on.
then
Right?
I move on.
And then you move
Yeah.
on.
Who knows? Who knows what
Yeah.
the future? If I do come back, it's gonna be more of a positive role. I won't be coming back as
You had
a
your
50
10-minute
Cent.
Tuesdays. You had some stuff that you were tickling as far as ideas are concerned, and I thought were very well received. And like you said, the internet could benefit from some stuff like that. So I mean, selfishly we would love to see you back on there, but I also completely understand.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You got to text me the meetup since I'm not on.
Yeah, for sure, man. I will definitely do that. Send me a photo, preferably the 50 Cent one, if you can, so I can use it for the show art.
Ooh, I just deleted it.
I
I'll try
think
to
I
find it.
did too. Damn it.
Yep.
It's okay. If you can, I'll find something. And
I'll find it. I'll find it.
and then we'll talk soon. Thanks everybody for listening. We will talk to you all later. Okay, let's see here. I'll stop record.